Hey everyone, welcome back to Mighty Nighty Games, picking up with episode 2 of Karl Franzypants Franz. So, as of the last episode, the vampire counts from the mountains down here had unexpectedly declared war very early on in the piece, and jumped me, which is a bit annoying. But that's alright, because I've got a plan. Now, I don't think it's a good idea to come down here and attack Kemmler head on. For a start, he's got a full stack, he's sitting in a city, which obviously is then going to have a garrison, and Franz is a little bit damaged from sitting out here over the end turn trying to catch Kazrak the One-Eye, which didn't happen, but fortunately enough, he's walked into Altdorf's zone of control. So if I attack him here, he's either going to run away, or he's just going to stand there and get walloped, and if he stands there, we'll probably be able to auto-roll this, because it'll be essentially 2 stacks against his, early game army. Yeah, like so. Yeah, I'm just going to roll that. That's fine. Goodbye, Kazrak. He'll still have a settlement up to the north, but now that I've shattered that army and killed him for, taking him out of play for 5 turns and dropped off his hero, hopefully, this guy will just be able to take it out, Midland. And we're going to come this way and try and catch Kemmler's forces when they come in for Ubersreich, which I haven't spent any money here yet. So, something I didn't explain in the last video, that I will explain in this video, if you are playing on, very hard or down, you will probably not find the AI will be this aggressive this early. To be honest, I wasn't really expecting him to be that aggressive that early, so it kind of caught me off guard that he's come in and done that, which is obviously why now I'm having to backtrack rather than maintain forward momentum. But that's okay. That's the kind of campaign that Franz is. It's kind of, especially early game, you're going to spend a lot of time running back and forth, putting out fires in the Empire, and making sure that things are okay for the elect accounts. So generally speaking, I don't bother upgrading anything except Altdorf. I usually get Altdorf to tier 3 before I even bother doing anything in the other settlements, because it's just so likely that the game will throw you a curveball on the harder modes, like you've just seen, and I'll end up losing one of them to someone. So I tend to play very conservatively as Franz, with regards to building settlements and such. I usually camp on Altdorf until that's tier 3 and has walls, and I'm confident that that can just handle its own business. And then I'll usually go Grunberg, and then Ubersreich, and then all the way around to Eilhart, because until you have locked down the coastline sort of over here where Marienburg is, and even after that, to be honest, it's very, very vulnerable, Eilhart. So, things can sort of roll in and take it on a whim if you're not leaving if you're not leaving an army parked there to guard the city the whole time, which obviously on the harder modes is just not feasible because of how much that would cost. You need your armies out conquering and attacking rather than just camping. So, to be honest, this is actually a pretty good showcase, because I feel like in the last couple of factions, and but stuff like this is why I want to keep a bit of prestige and gold. That's really handy. Just fealty of all elect accounts +1. That's very helpful. Not that I'm going to be looking to confederate anyone except Midland too soon, but still, if they get to 0, they will rebel, will declare war on me rather. They'll secede from the Empire, which I definitely don't want. So, this is actually a pretty good showcase of what to do when, things don't go according to plan, because the other few intro videos that I've done, have, everything's not only gone according to plan, it's gone hilariously better than I planned. So this is actually, I'm kind of pleased that this happened. I'd probably be annoyed if it was my own campaign that I was playing, because it would ruin my momentum, and I'd want to be halfway to wiping out what's-his-face by now, Festus. But, whatever, it hasn't worked out that way, and that's just the way the game works, and that's okay, because if it was the same every time, it'd get real boring real quick. Armies in region, I'm going to go growth, and that will do, because that's all I've got the money for at the moment, while leaving a little bit to recruit. So, yeah. Using Old Faithful here, you have an army in recruitment stance, with an army in ambush just behind it, near an enemy lord that you couldn't reach, or even if you could reach it, you'd be pretty sure that they'd have the room to fall back and you wouldn't be able to catch them. The idea, hopefully, is that he will actually prioritize attacking this guy here to stop him getting reinforcements, and he should, hopefully, prioritize that over going for the settlement. Just do a quick check of diplomacy. I don't know, they're going to get wiped out by the Crooked Moon soon anyway. It's dwarves are such a powerful faction. You play Empire and they're just we die. Bleh. They just roll over and cark it the second something looks at them. It's so annoying. Because they'd make really powerful allies. But yeah, something I've just noticed in the last, I don't know, 6 months or so, maybe even a little bit longer than that, is that if you're playing as Franz or Elspeth, there is like a ridiculously good chance that Karat Kadrin, oh, he's going for Helmgart, that's weird. Karat Kadrin, so Ungrim Iron Fist's faction off to the eastern mountains, and Belgar Ironhammer to the south, and Thorgrim Grudgebearer to the southeast, they just get like absolutely hilariously, tragically rolled. And it's really annoying. I cannot figure out what this bloke's doing. Why would he go for Helmgart? That's so weird. You got me. Yeah, I don't know. That fort's not really much use to them. It's on the other side of their empire, for crying out loud. They'll never hold it off me and the Bretonnians and the Dwarves and whoever else decides to come at them. Now, the thing here is I shouldn't actually have to fight Kemmler for too long. I'll just like smash his armies once or twice and get him to back off. And then hopefully someone like Luan Leonko will come along and just smack him on the head and I won't have to deal with him. Let me just turn this stuff to different settings just so that we can make these end turns go a little bit faster. This is generally how I play with them anyway, though. So I usually have neutral factions, the lords are set to fast, and the heroes are just off. I usually have enemy factions set to heroes off and just normal speed for the lords. And then fast and off for allied factions, because I can always just go and check what my allied factions are doing. And then I usually just put my heroes on fast, just so they move around a little bit quicker. And then generally what I'll do is I'll change most factions, I'll change manually, but I'm like most enemy factions, I will manually change them to fast. I just don't globally set them to fast in case you end up in a war against like Greenskins or Skaven or something unexpectedly, and they like, you know, underway around and stuff. Not that you can always see where they're going on underway even if you don't have it on fast. But it can at least sometimes give you like a brief flash of, okay, so they went that way. Like, I don't know exactly where they are, but at least I know they went in that general direction. Whereas if I had it on fast, it would just click by. So, but like, they'd just basically just disappear from the map and I wouldn't have a clue where they went. Cool. So Kemmler's just like massively overextended himself. As annoying as losing Isleheart was, like, I'm not really sure what his end game here is, because this is just a bad idea. Because now he's stuck there, and he's stuck there in March, and that's, from what I could see against the fort, that like that's an absolute garbage man of an army, and that's now like half dead. So we're just going to go this way. I'm not going to prioritize getting Helmgart back. Like, I really don't care about Helmgart. Like, it's not technically an imperial settlement. It doesn't have the little crest there, so I don't need it. Like, yeah, you start with it, and that's great and all, and it gives you an extra province, and I can milk a bit of extra trade income out of that. But like, losing Uberstrike would have been way more annoying. Yeah, I'm just going to roll that. That's like a pathetic army. Like, I seriously don't know what he thought he was doing here. This was a terrible idea of his. And why he went for... Yeah, I don't know. That's really bizarre. That's like a really dumb thing that the AI just did. Yeah, our army came out of that like basically full health. Channel a little bit of magic, just so I've got some more fire to chuck around on old mate here next turn. Take Irrepressible. So I'm building towards Lightning Strike at the bottom here. I very much believe, and I always take Lightning Strike as like a first order of priority as Karl Franz, just because, especially when fighting things like vampires, as you've seen, they will often come at you with multiple armies, and sometimes it's just, I mean, I don't always necessarily Lightning Strike, but my philosophy in this game with stuff like Lightning Strike is I would always rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it. So for someone like Karl Franz, I will literally always take Lightning Strike first up. Unless something really bizarre happened in the campaign and I like desperately, like if Vlad had declared war on me and was already steamrolling in, then I probably would have taken like small arms munition or whatever that is called, Pistolier I think it's called, just for the sake of trying to survive. But honestly, if something like that happened, I'd probably just restart because that would be cooked. Yeah, cool. So I'll probably take this video to like turn, I don't know, 15 or something. Like we'll get the vampires back out of our territory. We'll re-lock down Reichland, figure out what the next step is, and then I'll probably just call it there because it's, yeah, like 6:15 p.m. and I've been at work all day, so I'm pretty cooked. But I'm like so enjoying doing these videos. Like I definitely want to keep trying to do them as much as I can and as often as I can. like, yeah, I do have a full-time job now, so, like, I'm definitely not going to be able to do content, like, every single day, but, yeah. Now, look, like, yeah, if it was my campaign, I might have a go at winning that on the field. I don't think I would win it, but I'd probably have a go just for giggles, because sometimes you can pull out really, like, crazy-ass victories, and that's an absolute garbage man of an army. But, like, whatever, I'm so happy to just let it do that for the sake of time. These videos, these like starting guide things, really are just for illustrative purposes, just to give you an idea on how to get your leg up in a campaign, and it's usually based on just whatever I've read on the Reddit. Like, yeah, the Total War forum, what are they called on Reddit subreddits? The Total War Reddit's like pretty much the only thing I use Reddit for, and pretty much the only reason I use Reddit is because I discovered that there was the Total War forum there. Like, I grew up in the 90s, like, give me a good old-fashioned chat forum. But yeah, nah, that doesn't seem to be a thing anymore. Okay, so this is one of the dilemmas I was talking about, and this is why it's always good to make sure you've got at least 1,000 gold, and at least, like, 500 or 1,000 prestige, because the other one that you saw before needed prestige, 1,000 prestige. So, what's happening here is that Flensburg, so Aveland, these blokes down here-ish on the minimap, the black and gold Empire faction, they're getting attacked by greenskins. Now, I can just let them suck that up and deal with it by themselves, but it's going to lose me loyalty, which I don't want. Fealty, rather, which I don't want. This one here would cost me prestige if I did nothing, and if I didn't have any prestige in the bank, and if I didn't have any gold in the bank, I wouldn't be able to choose either of these, so I'd be stuck choosing one of the crappy options, which I don't want to do. But here's a little trick for you. So at the moment, I've got more prestige than I've got gold, so I'm going to use prestige for this. So we go send a military force. That's going to spend a little bit of prestige. The army's going to come up. Now, I have never needed to fight one of these ever, right? You just, like, doesn't matter. Your army that just spawned is going to despawn directly after the battle anyway, so it's fine. Just roll it. Doesn't matter how many casualties they take. And then, you don't need to replenish it because it's going to disappear. You don't need experience because it's going to disappear. So you just take the battle treasury. So if I'd spent the treasury, I just would have gotten slightly more than that 1,000 gold back, and effectively I've just turned 500 prestige into 533 gold. And sometimes, I think, maybe, I can't actually remember a specific instance of this happening to me in Warhammer 3. But I think you might even have a tiny chance of getting like a magic item and stuff out of that. That just goes into your lord's, like into your faction's pool. Because obviously the lord that's in command of that little force can't equip it. Alright, so it's going to smash these guys. Hopefully we can nick that potion of healing off them. That'd be handy. Alright, so this is a good campaign, actually. This is a good opportunity to show you a little bit of, a little bit of flimflammery. What do you reckon the odds are that I'd be able to beat that with just that? That's 10 versus their 14, and, like, most of their stuff's half dead. How's that garrison looking? Garrison's really munted. Yeah, no, okay, I'm not going to do that. So what I'll do is I'll just send him in this way. And Franz is just going to jump him. He's already retreated, obviously, so he can't get away. Yep, dead, thank you. Hopefully we get that potion of healing out of him. That'd be really helpful. Take the healing off that. Just so we can press on. Do we nick his potion of healing? I didn't even have a Wyvern Bone Bow. Take the Wyvern Bone Bow back and give me the damn potion of healing. No, okay, apparently that's not happening. Alright, so now what we're going to do is, just because they're amassing an army there, I'm going to... I know I said I wasn't going to really bother getting Helmgart back, but I'm actually going to, just because they're raising a force. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use Emil Billings to lead the attack next turn, and Franz is just going to back him up. Or maybe not, I haven't 100% decided on that yet. But the point is that I won't be using Franz to actually take the settlement. Franz will be involved in the attack, and then he'll bugger off up this way to get Eilhard as quickly as he can, and Emil Billings will take this settlement back and then sit in it for a few turns. So I'm just going to recruit a few extra units on him, just grab a couple of mortars. Is that going to send me bankrupt? No, it'll only put me 7 gold in negative. That's very serviceable, and that'll be ready in 2 turns. That'll be ready in... yeah, it'll be ready in there, and I can probably repair that. Yep, cool. So that will give us a little bit of extra gold next turn as well. What do I want here? I've already got mass-produced small ammo. Yeah, money is like a pretty big concern for me right now, so I'll probably just get the income from industry one, I think. What do I want down here? Lightning strike, and then I want... what's going to be most useful out of those two? Probably take Flamestorm. Piercing bolts is just so easy for the enemy, for the AI to dodge. They're really excellent at moving out of the way. You've got to really pin them down, like either with a spell or like a massive infantry or something that I just can't get away from. Before you use like piercing bolts or burning, even if they're on like the walls of a settlement, like they are uncanny at dodging it. Like, because the second you click the spell, the AI knows it and they start moving out of the way. Like, yeah, it's annoying. Really hard to hit them with piercing bolts or burning unless you've got them absolutely locked into position, like Net of Amontok or something from the Law of Light. Lock them in place with that and then bomb them with it. Whereas Flamestorm at least moves around a little bit. So in like a city siege or street battle, that kind of thing. Anyway, you can get them clumped up and just dump that in the middle of it. It's good business. Okay, so I think those dwarves just declared war on the vampires. Is that what just happened? Yep, great. So the Barrow Legion's now got another enemy. So yeah, as annoying as that was actually like a really, really good demonstration of the way that things can just go wrong for you in a campaign. But then they can also kind of end up going right. So like, yeah, okay, he took a minor settlement off me that I hadn't bothered investing any money in, and in return it's cost him everything. And it's kept other things out of our hair, because while we're at war with that faction, it's less likely that other factions are going to declare war on us. Oh yeah, sorry, the reason I didn't attack with Emil, the reason I didn't bring in 2 stacks against this is these forts are really annoying. And it's the same on the High Elf forts on the Donut as well. There's where their control zone starts. If you move into contact with their control zone with an army, that army counts as launching the attack. So it becomes so frigging annoying to bring in armies as reinforcements in a battle like this, because you have to get them so exactly, like, just touching the edge of their control zone so that they reinforce, but no further, because if they come into contact with the edge of the control zone, then suddenly they're leading the attack, and it's just really frustrating. So if you don't need 2 armies to attack a fort like that, don't bother bringing them. Or unless you don't care if the army that's supposed to be coming in as reinforcements ends up leading the attack. If you're in a situation where that's not going to affect you negatively at all, then yeah, no worries. But if you need a specific army to lead the attack, for whatever reason, then yeah, those forts are an absolute pain in the behind. And it's not that I so much needed Franz to lead the attack. It would have been fine if Billings had led it, but I want Franz to get the lion's share of the XP, because as soon as the economy can't handle it, which will be probably pretty soon, I will probably end up having to dismiss Billings for a few turns, until I can get the economy back up and running. Cool, so he's got reinforcements for him in case he needs them, which he probably won't at this stage. What's going on in Altdorf? No, I won't put that up yet because we just don't quite have the money for it. I will check diplomacy. Yeah, so when I'm playing, like, probably the next video I was going to do a fourth and final one of these, like, sort of intro to Warhammer faction type things. But the fourth faction I was going to do is High Elves. And it's looking like it's potentially possible that High Elves will be the next up, well, part of the next DLC, that they'll get a bit of a twig, and I don't know what that's going to do to them. So I'd probably hold off doing a High Elf intro video yet, just until we know for sure what's going on there. Like, if they're not going to get changed at all, then great, I'll do one, no problems. But I probably won't do one if they're going to change with the next DLC drop, because that'll be like 3 months away tops. And then it could be all completely irrelevant. I mean, if people are hugely screaming and need a High Elf one, then please let me know. I'm happy to do one. I just don't want to, waste people's time, including my own, making a video about something that's going to be redundant quite soon. So, because again, these are meant to be just sort of help for players. And, maybe a bit of entertainment for someone. I don't know. Hopefully, I think the ones where I'm actually playing for myself will probably be a little bit more entertaining, because I'll probably do more insane stuff, and cop it more. Whereas, as you've seen, I tend to play these ones quite conservatively, just because I'm trying to show new players how they can make progress through a campaign without leaving themselves wide open to attack all over the shop. Because that's one of the hardest things in this game when you're first starting out, is like, how hard do I defend versus how hard do I try to expand? Because if you do too much of one at the expense of another, like, you're going to end up copying it really badly with most factions. Like, there are certain factions where you shouldn't really be doing one of the thing at all. Like, for example, Khorne. Like, if you're playing Scarbrand, like, you shouldn't be like, who cares if you lose your city? You can just go and murder everything and get it back again, or get a different... Who cares? Like, Scarbrand's just eternal murder. So I think probably one that I really want to do for myself, just because I wanted on record how badass Nakari was before the Slaaneshi update. Because, yeah, like, people have been screaming about Slaanesh needing an update, and they are right. Like, Slaanesh does need an update. Of all the Chaos Gods, it's been, like, woefully and very obviously neglected in this game. But, you know, that's alright. They can't do everything. Poor devs. They've got families, and they've got to sleep and eat and stuff, you know. But, yeah, I do definitely think that Nakari's a little bit underrated sometimes, because that crazy giant pink sex lobster is like an absolute one-man army, one pink sex lobster army, right from the word jot. And I want that documented, because he's a badass and I love him. He's just so much fun to play, is Nakari. So I think Nakari will probably be the one that I do later this week, just for myself. But I'll put it up for you guys. But I mean, that'll be a campaign that I'm playing just for me, just for fun. Because Nakari is definitely not someone that I would recommend to a new player. He's hard. Like, he's a lot of micromanagement. On the other hand, he is one of the few lords in the game that I can think of that even on legendary campaign difficulty, very hard battle difficulty, with the AI cheats turned all the way up, from like literally the first game, the first battle that you do, you can just stick your entire army at the back of the board and ignore them and just kill everything with Nakari. Like turn 1, battle 1, he is easier to kill a whole army with than Scarbrand, because he already comes pre-packaged with an AoE constant damage over time effect, and every time he is responsible for killing a unit, whether that be comprised of multiple individuals or whether it's just a single entity, whenever he is responsible for the death of a unit, he heals. Scarbrand has to Scarbrand has to level up quite a lot before he gets access to that sort of stuff. Nakari comes pre-installed with it, and he just tears it apart. He just wrecks stuff. It's insane. Okay, so I said that I'd probably leave that here I'll leave this particular part of it here once we got back Reichland, and we've done that. So I think I probably will leave that one here for tonight, and I'll pick it up again next time. And what we'll do is we will make sure that Kemmler's not going to come at us again. I think I would definitely like to prioritize killing Nurgle. But we're also going to need to see if Marienburg plays ball, because the last thing we need is Marienburg wiping out Kemmler and then deciding that we look pretty juicy. So I'll probably try and get some diplomacy going with him, but that's not looking good without having to give it away territory, which I'm not doing. So it might be a bit of a civil war there. And Marienburg doesn't actually count technically as one of the elected counts for the purposes of like, you will notice that there's no fealty marker here for them, so you can never automatically or use the fealty system to confederate Marienburg. You've got to do it the old-fashioned way. They can also just declare war on you randomly, unlike the other elected counts. So might be Marienburg on the chopping block next video, but we'll see how we go. Thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed another video. If you're playing Karl Franz, I hope this helps you. Otherwise, yeah, give him a go. He's a really good, fun character. The Empire's very, very enjoyable, a hugely varied unit roster. And Franz's campaign is a bit of a giggle, because you really are just like, you're an emperor. It's your job to run back and forth across the Empire at breakneck speed, putting out fires for everybody else until they recognize that you're good enough to be their leader, and then they will come and join you. And then, yeah, then you can just start taking over the whole planet. It's great. Yeah, so thank you for watching. I really appreciate the time you've taken to do so. Please let me know if you have any thoughts, or if you have any particular factions or lords that you'd like me to play, or if I can make a video for you because you're really struggling with so-and-so of a faction. I'll do my best to help. So yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed this. Please leave any comments that you may have, good or bad, anything to improve on. And yeah, I'll see you next time. Cheers, guys. Bye.